What is up, people? Welcome to the show. Manny here from the Guitar Show in Sydney, Australia. In for another stream. Been a bit shuffled around this week with the schedule. A couple of things. We've got this guy we're working on. I've sanded off some of the color. We're trying some new things, trying some new variations. You can see that guy is coming along, that left-hander. I'll give you a closer look. It's definitely going to just let me enable that camera. Come on. What's going on with it? There's always something happening, isn't there, guys and girls? There we go. Okay, so we've got that guy there. You can see we've got a little bit of a sanded off a lot of that stuff, trying to get a little bit of a burst going. Just variations on a theme. We're not sure yet. The owner doesn't know whether to go light or dark. I'm going to leave it until he makes his mind up. What we can do, though, is start on these guys. We've got to, and again, he wants to change something down here. We can get these guys done. We can get some mother of pearl laid out and sorted out to get this thing happening started. So we're going to do a bit of work on that. The other thing we're going to do today is we're going to use this nice big piece of blackwood, and I'm going to make a guitar rack. So I'm going to build a little rack that takes about 5 or 6 electrics and a couple of acoustic guitars to keep upstairs in the studio, so that I can put my guitars that I use in that rack, and also ones that I don't use that I'm preparing to ship out. So this is a piece of blackwood. You can see it's got a big crack in there, and therefore we can't use that piece for anything else other than to cut it down to size and make 2 side stands. This is going to be the sides of it, and then we're going to have a joining piece at the top with a rack, and obviously a couple of stands at the bottom to sit the guitars on. We've got a little bit of blackwood lying around, so we're going to use some of that. What else have we got? Mav's in the house. How you doing, Mav? Lisa was first. Lisa's in the house as well. Welcome on in, guys. Nice of you to join us, and we will get cracking straight away. So what I want to do first is I want to lay out what we need to do with this fretboard. Again, there are some issues, not issues, but some decisions to be made. This will be stained. We're going to go for that look, a darker look. It's going to look a lot better with that body. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, that looks pretty good once we spruce that guy up. It quilts nicely, as you can see. Okay, that's looking quite watery. Get a beautiful look through that. And that quilts up nicely, so it's an interesting piece. Again, I don't know what he's after exactly. He's got a dark quilted guitar. Would have helped if he told me earlier. But that's okay. We're going to try and lighten this up. Now, I have tried some white in here. It doesn't look great, so I sanded that off. I've sanded this off a couple of times now, so I don't want to keep sanding too many times. That's why I'm going to leave it alone until we get that guy done. Be Bumstead, Marky Mark, what's going on? Just saying, we're playing with this guy, and we're trying to chop and change the color schemes. I actually like that. I would go with something like that, because that would go really well with a light neck and a dark fretboard. I think, and that's a really good combination. I think I like it, but it's not up to me, is it? Because it's not my guitar, so I won't be commenting and deciding completely. What I can do, though, is I can carve out. I'll start prepping some of these guys and get this guy laid out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that. A little bit of prep on this guy. Put that neck away. Get you guys right down here watching what we're doing, and we want to get this guy. These guys are going to be not as wide, so I want to make those a little bit narrower. So I need to erase those guys and make those a little bit narrower. Take some of that out. What I want to do is I want to run. That's the right width. I want to run that guy down parallel to that that sideline there and get that width roughly the same as the first one. That letter there is spot on. So I want to get them all that width. So I'm going to grab a straight edge and run a line straight down there and just get those widths. I'm going to run a line at the tip of that F and run it in parallel to the side of this guitar, the edge, so that I get the right type of width consistently down there. So what have we got? We've got that guy's going to be 13 millimeters from the edge. So I'm going to mark another dot here at 13. Turn these two up. And I'm going to redraw these guys a little bit more consistent with the width. That, and there's another letter to go in here as well, so we need to change this little motif guy here. On this side we've got oh, I've got it. Okay, cool. So that gives me, I've got to bring those M's in now, so I know I can change those guys there and bring that inside those lines. So I'm going to rub that guy out. Pretty much bring him in back here. Better. A little bit more uniform. So, fits in with these guys a little bit better. This guy as well has got to be an M. We're going to start him here. Same deal. I'm going to draw him closer to the center. Just penciling them out just to get an idea. I will draw them properly, and I'm going to experiment with my little CNC and see if I can get that to do some of this for me. Otherwise, I'm going to be subjected to freehanding it again with the Dremel and the router base, which is fine. It just takes a little bit. It's not too bad actually. I don't mind doing it that way, but this guy's not quite proportional. I need to get this guy moved across. Just oh no, it's pretty good. Just slightly across. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. Okay, we've got that guy, more proportion now. They were the right size. And we've got another one in there, and I think it's going to be an S, but he needs to come back to me and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting some mother of pearl and see what we need to get there. Down there, of course, this guy's going to be straight line through there. That's going to be pretty easy to do, just with a straight edge. Here, and just run that little fence line down there and get that engraved out of there. And then we're going to inlay mother of pearl in there. That's going to be about 3 millimeters. That's a bit wide. We're going to go a little bit finer than that. We're probably going to go to, it's about 4 millimeters. I'll probably take a little bit off that. About 1/8 of an inch, maybe a bit more, but not quite a quarter. Okay, so that's that guy there. Who else have we got? We've got Terry in the house. We've got the Bumstead Marky Mark. We've got Grey Dog's here. Hello from hospital. Geez, Grey Dog, I hope you're okay, man. Get well soon, my brother. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're getting good treatment. Yes, absolutely. I'm sure they are doing their best. So hang in there, bud. Always good to have you dropping in. Thanks for being here again. Mav's in the house, of course, earlier on. Lisa's here as well. Big shout outs for everyone. Terry's all over that. I know she's going to do a great job shouting at everybody. She shouts at everybody. I mean, I should say she shouts out everybody, not shouts at everybody. Okay, so let's grab some mother of pearl, see what we've got here in terms of sets. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a look at what we need, how much we need, and then we'll see what we get going with that guy there. All right, let's have a look. Grab my little box of things, box of stuff. I did get a big delivery of shells, mother of pearl. So we've got blocks and pieces everywhere. I've got to find them now, that's all. A whole bunch of bone, which is good. Not for this job, of course, but it's good nonetheless. The kind of stuff we want to use is here. So we've got some shell here. This is the kind of stuff that we want to work with. I've got a lot more of that as well. For those of you that saw, I've actually sanded the body again. So the body's looking like that now. I've taken a lot of that black off. We're trying to, for me, that's a good combo with that neck and that fretboard. It's going to look pretty good, but we have to decide on what we're going to do here. I'm not sure the owner has decided yet, so I'm leaving it for now. I've sanded some of that off. He has got a dark one with beautiful flame, and he doesn't want another one, so I'm going to go light. He said try white. White doesn't work very well, so I'm going to leave it like that. I actually like that. I would go with that if it was me, but it's not me, so unfortunately we're going to have to wait until we get onto that guy and do some more. But we're going to lay this guy out and see how many pieces we need to get things happening here. We're going to use, luckily most of these letters are very straight, so we're just going to use these blocks, and we're going to sand them and cut them and angle them on the grinder, mostly to shape, and then in little pieces, and then fit them into, for example, this would make, there's enough there to make the 2 F's there, and then we need one down there. Make the letter F in there. Just got to get the angles right there. Cut it up to size, fit them in there, and get them inlaid. There. I'm going to see how much I've got. I think I've got more than enough. I've got enough there for the M's. One in, that's 2 M's. One in there, that's the I. Enough for the I, that's actually enough for 2 I's. Let's see what else I've got. I've got a lot more shell as well, but I think we've got enough here to just get the job done that we need. So we've got, there's an I there. Cut that in half, that'll give us another M. There's the other M, the remaining of that. And of course we've got a P, and that's perfect for the P there. That guy and another piece of that in there. So I think we're going to be fine. We're going to have more than enough to do that. Oh, there's another letter going down here, and I've got some of that left over. I think it's going to be an S, but I'm not sure. He has to come back to me. So that's what we're working with. So we've got enough there. I'm going to pop those in here so I know that we've got enough for that. I'm going to start drawing them out onto piece of paper now, and I'm going to measure out, start doing these. We need to get the shapes of these guys done first, and then we're going to position them, stick them down, glue them down, outline, and then route out what we need to route out. So first things first, I need to get a block up here so I can rest that on. Where's the block? A nice block. Okay, I'm going to take some measurements here. So for this goes like that. We're going to need to measure what we've got here. The length of this guy will be 30 millimeters. On the outside, the longest edge, we're going to come up at 45 there, that's fine, and down at 45 there. The length of this guy is going to be 15. And the length of the shorter guy is going to be probably 10. Yeah. Okay. That's 10 and that's 10, that's 10. So we need to cut it a little bit longer than that because we're going to angle them. So we're going to go 3, 13, 16, 3, 3, and 21. And this one will be longer side 30. 16, 21, and 30. Let's get the 31 done first. Little guy there. I'm going to have to trim that down to size. It's going to be probably 3 mil. Yeah, 3, 7/8 of an inch. Just about half of that. Split that right down the middle. A bit tricky. I'm going to have to use, I don't want to grind it off. It's too much waste there, so I want to use as much of that as I can. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to get the jeweler's saw. I'm going to cut those out. First thing I'm going to mark this out. That's 6. Halfway. There's that guy there. Got to cut that right down the middle. That's only going to be done by hand because it's very, very finicky. So I'm going to grab my little cutter, my little coping block, wherever that little guy is. Let me find that. And of course, typical. We're going to clamp this guy down. I'm just going to slot this guy and give it a little bit of a gap. Give me a second. this over the edge here. We're going to clamp that guy down. How many clamps do we need, Terry? Lots of clamps. Just a couple. Let's see how we go with this guy. It's good. What we're going to basically do is we're going to get this guy cut up. Cut that guy. Jeweler saw. Get that cut to shape. Can. What we do is we basically put this guy down like so. Get right down to line that up. And we cut away until we get the length we need. Firstly, we're going to cut across this guy. That's the right length. We've got that little guy. Keep that guy aside. We can use him for something. And now we're going to square it. We've got to cut this down the middle first, and then we're going to angle these guys correctly. So we just need to get this guy right down the middle. Tape that guy down. It's a little bit tricky because it's so small. Very fiddly. I'm going to start by taking that guy here, holding it down at least so that you can. A little bit of space. That won't move too much. At least I can hold it there, but it's doing most of the holding for me. Very time consuming, as you can imagine. We've got to be very careful and go very slowly. Very fiddly. Very small. slowly cut that down. We sand that flat, and then we've got pieces we need to arrange on the breadboard. Stick them down, mark out, and then we engrave it, inlay that, cut that channel, and lay this bone, this shell in there. Very difficult. I wish I have got a coping saw, but it's too coarse. This is too fine for using a saw, a proper mechanical saw. Sorry, electrical saw. So I'm going to do it by hand with a finer diamond blade. It takes a heck of a long time to get accurate and to keep cutting away. Lurking, Daria Lynn, thank you very much for the lurk. Secret CNC. No, don't be silly, Rage. CNC, I haven't got all week. I want to get something done today, so I'm going to do it by hand. It'll take me a week to set it up and get everything cut right. I will try it, though, later for the other pieces. I just wanted to do something on screen, traditionally, by hand. It is madness. Yes, you're right. We're halfway there. Looking pretty good. Start the other oops. Start the other side. Nearly there. Nearly there. We're just about there. Okay, we've got our two pieces. I'm going to just sand those now. I've got my 240, that's 400. 240 right here. Just going to flatten those edges down. Just get the jaggedness, just the teeth marks away from that. heavier gauge. I'll just quickly hit that with the sander. Okay. Couple little bars there now. We need to formulate. You've got to cut that angle at 45. Cut that angle at 45 and get that like that, and then the other stem in there to make the letter, that F type letter, looking letter. Be Bumstead. And Greg's in the house as well. Orby, what's going on? Inlays, my friend, inlays. We got this guy here. We need to get some rune stuff going. Some rune stuff cut out and happening. Okay, on this fretboard. Get stuff going on at 1, at 3, at 5, at 7, at 9, and probably at 12. And then all the way down, some straight pieces all the way down, linking to the body. Now, for those of you that haven't seen, I have sanded most of the dark off the body. I've got a burst on it. There's that quilted body that I was working on last week. Just taking off all that sand. There's still a little bit caught in the middle there on the seam. We're going to sand that clean. That's actually getting cut out. Obviously, you won't see much of that, but I will clean that up so that it's nice and clearer. That's looking pretty good. It does quilt up nicely when we wet it. Give you a little look. It's not too bad. Okay, it's looking pretty good there. You can see that the depth is in there. You've got that depth, and obviously with a high gloss finish, it's going to look good. Now, I'm not sure what the owner wants. He wants it lighter. He didn't want it all black, but he wanted it lighter. But I'm not sure exactly how light. He wanted white in there as well. We tried that. It's not doesn't work very well. It doesn't stick very well or shot. But that's not too bad. And if with a little bit more burst around there, obviously when we hit that with some clear, it's going to really darken up. You can see that color there. That combination, I think, works really well with the maple. Okay, and of course a nice dark stained, a nice dark fretboard as well, an ebony fretboard. That's going to look pretty good, I think. So yeah, coming along, slowly but surely. We just got to wait, get some design decisions done. What I do need to do is get this guy stained and sanded as well and get the flame going on the back of that. But I need to know how much of that, because I need to match this guy. So if we go too dark here, we want to go dark on the back. We want to match that up. Okay, so back to this. We've got these two little guys here to make our first little inlay. I need to now grind these guys down. I'm going to get a file. It's a pretty flat file here. And I'm just going to put a little bevel on that edge, 45. All you need is a little file and work that down like that. You get that little edge cut at that angle that you want. Okay, and of course this guy's got to match because we want it sitting at the same angle in there like so. So I'm going to just take that corner off there. Actually, yeah, because we've got the right length there. And it gives it that nice, neat, round join. And that's the first facet. We need to cut this guy now. So we're going to cut 16, this guy. I think it's 30 all up. You need to cut it like a 60-40 ratio. So let me take this down. That's 30. So let me go to say 16 or 18 or 18 actually. Perfect. I'll cut that guy in half. And we'll be able to fit that onto that. We've got literally our first letter, and we'll mark that out on the fretboard to see what it looks like. So let's cut this guy in half. Done. Give that a nice little clean up. Put that angle on it, so that should fit now. That's exactly what we want, that nice sharp. So sharpen this because there shouldn't be any round edges on it. Let me sharpen this guy. That's the top. It's got to be a lot sharper, but I might just flatten that guy out. Better. There we go. It's jagged. Just take that jag off. Bone is actually harder than you think. It's brittle, but it's bloody hard. There it is. That's the first rune. Done. And that is the letter D. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but it looks like an F, but it's not an F. That's going to go on the fretboard. So let's lay that out on the fretboard and see what that looks like. So on the black fretboard, it's going to look, on the black side, it's going to look really good. So you can see how well that stands out. That's pretty cool. There's our first. So that's going to look, that's the first rune on there. TMKDK, what is going on? Welcome to the stream. Jumping on in. So that's the guy there. Let's lay him out on the other side where we're actually going to stain this. That's stained. You can see when we stain it, you can see what it does. It gets a little bit darker. It's shrunk that up. We're going to stain that and give that a nice coat of oil. Just one coat to seal that in. And we're going to do the same this side here. So I tried it out here to see what color it was. He's happy with that color. He still likes the fact that you can see the ebony grain through there, but he wanted it just a little bit darker than this chocolatey look here. So that's what size. Length is a little bit on the long side. I'm going to shorten that guy up just a touch. So I'm going to take off right? Yeah, I'm going to go all the one way, I think. I'm going to go the one way. Just going to grind that quickly. That's a little bit long as well. That one's fine. Let's shorten this one. Tag. That's better. Spot on. Let's shape this corner here. Take off that corner. Okay, there's our first room. So that's the first one there. Line that up right. There we go. And we've just got to do all the others as well. So I'm going to glue this guy down so he's in position. Take off any burrs, little burrs. There we go. That's the first one. What do you guys think of that? Not bad? Terry, yeah, sorry. The inlay, just to give everyone else a good look at what we're trying to do, is going to look like this. So he's going to redesign this to his liking. I gave him an example. But what we're doing now is we're going from the neck, the top of the neck, we're doing these simple inlays. Then there's this longer piece past the 12th down that's going to body under the pick guard, under the pickup. It's going to continue at this side, so it's going to start and end at the end of the 24th fret or the fretboard, and then it's going to start again at the back of the first neck or the neck pickup and continue to the bridge pickup, and then another short piece from there through under the bridge itself, and then before joining the final rune wheel at the back here. So that's what we're going to do. That's the plan. So let's see what we can do with this guy. I need to glue this guy down, but I need to be very careful because I need to get it right. We're going to need very small amounts of glue. Let's start off by grabbing the super glue, putting a very small dot, a very tiny, minute dot. So what the objective here is, we're going to glue these down. We're going to mark around them and scribe and cut with a scalpel and scratch that profile very sharply and very accurately around there. That'll give us our boundaries to cut to. Then we're going to chisel off these pieces. That's why I'm only going to put a little dab of glue in the center, just enough to hold it in place. Chisel off these pieces, route that guy, and then fit those in there. So it is a very time-consuming process. Let's put a dab of glue there. A very small piece like that. That's all we need. Tiny drop. Stick that guy in there. Nice and straight. That's perfect. Right inside that drawing that we've got there. That's good. That's going to stick there, and that's going to cure in about a second. We're going to do the same with this guy. We're going to put this guy here. Like that. And this guy, of course, is going to match that guy. Like that. Okay? So, let's get this guy first. Tiniest of drops. And that's cured, they're not moving. Too much, that's okay. There it is, it's glued in. That's not going anywhere. You can see how that stands out very nicely against that. It really stands out. It's going to be a nice pattern of runes down there, and it's going to be. See that darker side, that white really pops on there. So we are going to stain that eventually once we get those inlaid in there. Van Whalen, what's going on? Got here late. I was looking for the comment. Did you climb a tree to look for it, or were you just at ground level? It's detailed, man. It's detailed. We're going to do some detailed stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just grab my scalpel. Surgical grade, surgical class, sharp as a tack, sharp as a scalpel. I'm going to run that guy right along there without cutting our fingers to shreds. And we're actually scratching that border right to the tip. So we start at this tip. We use this very sharp surgical grade steel blade. Start right at the tip, angle it right into the edge of the mother of pearl. Grab that wood, feel that scratching into the surface there. Run it a couple of times. Don't slip. we've got our scratch marks out there, very tight, so we know what we're dealing with. Do those little dots. Actually run the blade pretty deep, so it can run the blade freely into there. And that's just enough to break that fiber on the top, and that helps with the Dremel. It's gone the wrong way. That helps the Dremel cleanly cut into that. So that's scratched out. You can see that scratched out. Okay, and we can Dremel that guy out now, and get those guys sitting in there. So let's get the Dremel out and see what we can do, what damage we can do. How am I going to do this? I'm going to need a little bit of space, so I don't need a clamp there. I need a clamp on this side. That's going to have to do, because I've got the Dremel sitting up in here. So let me just quickly, normally what I do is put a piece of paper on here and draw over that. Dribble over the scratch. Get our Dremel base and see what we can do with that. Dremel. Alrighty. Right. Hey, what do we got here? We've got a box of stuff here. We have got this guy. There's a small base here, but I need the bigger base. I'm going to grab the bigger base, put that together. This guy here, little router base, will help me route. So that guy will sit and slide as required. Because it's glass at the bottom, the plastic, we can see what we're cutting. We can see everything we're doing. First things first, I've got to pick the right cutter. It's got to be very fine. Let me grab a very fine cutter. got to be an itsy witsy bitsy guy. Here he is here, 1/8 shank, and very, very small cutter. That little guy, you can see how small that is. Okay, and that's going to go buzzing in there and scratching that guy. We've got to get the lines out. I've got to work out how deep to go too. It's going to be the depth of the thickness of the. I think that's at 2 millimeters or 1.8. Double check that. I'm going to go a little bit deeper because this is going to get radiused as well. Tighten that up. It's fiddly, guys and girls. It's very fiddly. And of course, I have got a little tiny CNC, a 300 by 400. Little small base, about this big. Ideal for putting little head laminates and little fretboards through there. I can set that up and try that, but I'm not going to do that on camera because I don't want to spend an hour or so just setting that up. It's not going to be very exciting. At least here you get to see me do something. And again, there's a good chance this fretboard will be reused somewhere else if the guy doesn't want it. I think he said he likes it if I stain it, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. So I have to be very, very careful. So I thought I'll try it on this one. It's an experiment, but happy to do that. Okay, that guy's plugged in. We've just got to work out the depth now. So let's get 0. Zero is there. Zero is there. I need to go down, get the thickness of this, and add a little bit of a buffer for the radius as well. Thickness of this guy is 1.55. So I'm going to go 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters is what I'm going to do. And sit that guy in there. So 1/8 of an inch. So let me measure 1/8 of an inch on this guy. Got to lower this down. Let's measure that. A bit more. Got to get these rods down. This is a stopper. This will stop this from springing up too far, because when you push down, it tends to move a little bit. This will stop it dead in its tracks. So I'm going to measure this. That's pretty flat there. That's about right. And now we're going to stop this right there. That. Tighten that guy up. And that won't go anywhere. There we go. And now as we push, I'm going to do a test run on here first on this piece of masonite, and just test the depth. Test the depth. Let me grab a cable. How quick? Where are you? Where's my extension lead? Get over here. Grab that extension lead. All right, we'll plug this guy in. Give that a test run, see how deep we go. Test how this guy's fit depth-wise. That's great. That's just below the surface, which is where we want it. Just below the surface, so that when we do radius, we hit that shell and just smooth that shell. And it's got a little bit of play there. We can lose 0.5 millimeter, and we still got 1 millimeter of shell there. That's going to be more than enough. So that's the right depth. I can start with this guy now. First things first, I'm going to start right in the middle, or at the point, I should say. Now, I can't see very well. What do I need to do there? I need to get a light on there. So let me get a little light on there. This is why we do it with white. I might actually get some paper, stick some paper on there and do it with that, because I can't see very well on this dark surface. So I've got some paper here. I'm going to stick that guy down. And then we're going to cut over the top of it. Making that a little bit more prominent. That way we've got a bit of texture under there. Is our knife mark. This is the old way of doing it, by the way. So I know it seems a little bit over the top, but this is how they used to do it. And still do. I'm just going to try and see if I can get anything coming through here. Okay, it's going to work. So I'll stick that down. Keeping in mind that all that's going to get sanded off. We don't need to worry about too much about it. Just got to get that guy on there. So. To the top of that, you see the F starting to show up. There it is. I'm going to mark that out. Grab my little thin pens and just run the little one straight into that little just going to go over those little cuts, get that guy. Importantly, make it very visible. I've got to see what I'm doing. Very visible. Okay, I can see that now. I'll be able to route that cleanly. JB, what's going on? That tall guy, yes, absolutely. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yes, I'm working on some inlays for this guy. We're basically going to put some mother of pearl inlay, some Viking runes down this neck, and I'm working on the first one to show you guys what's involved. And now I can see what's going on. I can see quite clearly what's going on. So I can start at that corner, work my way down. Here I go. I'm going to put a mask on just in case. Terry, do we need a mask? Ask Terry. If anyone wants to know anything, just ask Terry. She knows everything. Wally's here to ease your pain. Very funny. Leslie, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome on in. Dana's here as well. Yes, Terry, exactly. Masks are a prerequisite, I think. Got it. You can indeed, Van Whalen. You can indeed. Glasses. I can't see Shizen without it. So let's put that on. Can you guys see that? You can. Let's get down nice and low. See a little bit better now. There you go. can see that now. I can continue doing that right. Always use a scalpel to clean up any fiber. See what we got. Not deep enough. Okay, we're going to cut it deeper. Clean that out. So that's better. Make sure all the fibers are gone. Go a little bit deeper, and we will get it deeper. Do a test bit. Pretty tight, which is good. What we want. A few gaps, not too many. Just a little bit short on those there. Okay. Always work with a chisel, with a scalpel if you can. It cuts a lot finer and gets rid of any fibers like that. Might hinder. It's very controlled in corners. Very much controlled in corners. Yeah. There we go. Needs to go a little bit deeper. But you get the gist, right? So that's what we're going to do. There it is. That's the kind of thing. Got to get a little bit deeper. And then it'll, they're sitting in there, but they're a little bit too proud. I'm just going to work on that a little later on with a fine scalpel, just cleaning that slot out. But that's basically it. That's how you get your inlays in there. And they'll, once that sits in there nice and flush, we glue them in. We radius the board with the inlay in there, and it closes it right up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. And we won't be doing those today, obviously, but that's, I wanted to take you through what's needed to get an inlay done by hand. So that's how we manually do them by hand, okay? And of course, this isn't sitting right. They're a little bit shallow, so they're wobbling about. When they're deep, right in there, and we're good to go. Okay, love it. Rage, not bad for a freehand hacker. What do you think? Not bad for a freehand hacker. Now I'm going to switch. I'm going to change modes. I'm going to leave this guitar alone for a minute. I'm going to grab you the acoustic that we had the other day. We just got to adjust the neck slightly, tune it up, and try it. It has been sitting. It sounds pretty good. It looks pretty good. Ready to go. I'm going to bring that down, and we're going to just do a final setup on that. And then we're going to start marking out the sides of this Tasmanian Blackwood to make a guitar stand for my studio upstairs. So let's get that stuff going. I will just put this stuff away first while we're here and catch up with the chat, give you guys a bit of love. Who else is here? Lisa's around. We know that. She's been around for a while. Willie's happy. Good on your Wills. Rage is happy, which is always good. Fun. Yeah, fun change of pace. We're going to hit a guitar stand. Something different, Dana. Just something for you because I know you like furnishings and things like that. And Purple Heart floorboards and all that sort of stuff. It's not going to be Purple Heart though, thank God. It's not going to be Purple Heart, thank God. Okay, so we've got our, we're going to move all this bone away. And we're going to continue with that a little later on and get that, by tomorrow we'll have more of that done. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go and grab that guitar. We're going to set that guy up and then we're going to start on this this guitar stand. So without further ado, I'm going to give you over to Buddy for a sec and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So there she is. We put new frets on this girl and we did the fretboard. You can see that looks pretty good. There is a little bit of a bow now. We have set it around. It's barely noticeable. It's almost straight. But I'm going to double check that action for you and we're going to just modify that ever so slightly. Let me move some of this stuff away so we don't scratch anything. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to just check the straight, just make sure she's dead straight. So we're just going to check the neck here with our edge. And I can see there is a gap there, quite substantial, probably about 1 millimeter or so in the middle at the 9th fret. I'm going to tweak that truss rod just a little bit. I'm going to back off these strings block. This guy off here. I need more room, guys. I've got to get some new benches in here, I think. I've got to make some new benches. Bite the bullet, they said. Make some new benches. What do you say? I say yay. Yay, we make new benches. Let's put this guy up here. Okay. Check this. So we've got this guy a little bit on. Ever so slightly, just a tiny, about half a millimetre to a millimetre, very slight bow, just at 9. I'm going to try and just straighten that. Take some of these strings off a bit more. And we'll retune it, and then we'll give it a strum, and hopefully the action seems pretty okay. It's not as low as it can be, but it's not as high as it can be. It's a nice medium one. It's for another person. I'm going to leave it sort of where it was. But it's a lot lower than it was. So he's going to be happy about that. Let's grab our little key here. Get in amongst these guys. Let's make some room by dropping these two, the D and the G, out of their nut slot and opening that gap up. The truss rod access is just under the hole here at the back of the neck, as opposed to ones that you see at the headstock. Okay, we've opened that up. Get this guy in here and give that a little turn. It's going to go a quarter turn. Slipping. That's a quarter turn. I'm going to eyeball that. Okay, that looks pretty straight now. And this should be a true indication. That's nice and, yeah, that's nice and straight. That's pretty straight. So I'm going to put this guy back over there, put these strings back on, tune it up, and let's have a listen to her. That action, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's a lot better. Very good there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. Let's tune that girl up. Just gonna tune. Grab a electro if we've got one. Thought I had one somewhere. Somewhere. There we go. Alrighty, so we've got it set up. Looks okay. Yeah, neck's nice and straight. Pretty good. Nice and loud. Very bright with the new strings, but that's playing nicely now, so we've got that guy going. Georgie made an appearance yet? No, she's gone. She's gone back home. Okay, she sounds pretty good. Going to let that settle now. That one's pretty much ready to go back to the owner. So we're good there. New frets. Adjusted the new bridge. New bridge saddle, I should say, bone saddle. And that guy's good to go. And it's an old 87 Ibanez Performance Series that needed a little bit of TLC. So we re-leveled that neck out, gave it a nice clean, polished it up, new frets, set it up again, and she's good. Yes, well, it was his first guitar, and he started hating it after it started going all over the place. But then when you get a guitar and it starts changing, wearing out, moving, doing something that you don't like, you don't just put it away. You've got to look at fixing that. So after about 20 years, he pulled it out and said, "Can you do something with that? Because I like it, but I hate it." He's got a love-hate relationship with this. Anyway, it plays a lot better now, so he'll be able to at least use it again, which is probably the objective that we wanted to reach. Let's grab this guy out, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, we've got Tassie black wood. Okay, I'm going to flick the bench to here. I'm going to draw what we're going to do, okay, so you guys know. On the back of this guy, we're going to show you what we're doing. So we've got this piece here is going to be sliced in half at an angle. We're going to have two pieces of wood, basically, that look like this. Okay, one there, and of course, the reverse. So we're going to cut it. Put this guy down diagonal, across there, in a diagonal, to give us two pieces that look like that with a bit of a slant on them, about a 60-degree angle, right? Or maybe a bit more, 75 maybe. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut them like that. Okay, once we cut this guy down there like that, what we're going to do end up is with two pieces like this. We're going to have one piece there. And the other one's going to go on the other side. Like that. We're going to have another piece join in the middle here, across the top. And that piece across the top is going to have some holes cut out for the neck to rest on there. Basically putting two pieces down the bottom, one piece of dowel there, one piece of dowel there. We're going to cover it in a felt. We're going to cover these cutouts in a felt. And the guitars will sit in there like that, side by side. Okay, so that's basically the rack we're going to do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, no more needed. No feet. I'm going to put some felt on the bottom of there. I'm going to put some felt inside these cutouts that the neck sits in so we don't scratch anything. And I'm going to put some felt on there so that when the weight of the guitar, the base of that sits on there, we don't get any problem. Okay, so that's basically what the rack's going to look like. Simple, effective. Absolutely. Fantastic. Absolutely, Rage. It's nice. Work on this guy first. Let's measure this. First, I need to sharpen this guy. Where's my scalpel? I'm not going to use the scalpel. I'm going to use, what am I going to use? My knife. I've got a knife. Let me get my knife out, wherever that bugger may be. Here we go. I'm going to sharpen this guy up just a little bit. Now, I was going to use this stuff to make a cap. This is similar to a cap. It's flamed. There's a bit of flame there. This is going to be a very nice guitar rack. Rage, would you like a guitar rack made out of Australian blackwood? I bet you would. But there's a nice big crack right here. And it goes down about 1/4 inch. So it's not very stable. We could cut that out, but we won't get enough to make a cap lengthwise. But what we will do is cut it there. And we've got at least a good 2 feet to 2.5 feet of guitar side rack to hold up those guitars. So that's what we're going to do. So let's mark that out. Let's cut that guy across there. And then we're good to go. Quickly give this a sharpen. Grab our rule. We're going to go straight down there with a straight edge. Firstly, I'm going to measure this down across here and get to about 2 to 2.5 feet. Or about 60 centimeters or so in the new cool kids language. 2 feet. 2 feet is 60. 24 inches is there. Further, we're going to go 29, 30 inches. 30 inches is probably where I want to be. Right there. I'll grab my square. I'll square that off so I know where to cut and measure. Okay, there's our 30-inch side. That's going to get cut there through. And of course, we're going to come in 2 inches on each side. Or 5 centimeters on that side. And 5 centimeters at the other end. And that's where we're going to join the diagonal. Actually, no, that's not enough. I'm going to go a little bit. Actually, no, it is. I'm going to go maybe a bit more, maybe 6 centimeters. And I'll tell you why. Draw this guy right across here. So it's not quite a diagonal. It's a diagonal, but it's not corner to corner. We need a little bit of a headstock so we can screw the top across into the side. Excuse me. There's the line. So you can see that. That line there is what we're going to cut across. And you can see the shape we're going to have once that's cut is it's going to be that wide at the top, which is just over 2 inches. And at the bottom, that piece is going to be that wide, which is the foot of the stand. And there'll be another one on the other side, a piece of dowel in the middle on both sides, angled in like that. So I could go a little bit wider on the base. I think that's going to be fine. We're going to try it anyway. It will work. It will work. I can extend the base if I want to put a more stable foot. I can put a foot underneath it and bring it out further so that it doesn't topple over that way with any weight. But they will be resting back to the back of it, which is this straight edge. So the crooked edge goes to the front, straight edge goes to the back. Thank you very much for the blessings and the Gesundheit. No, I'm not going to be doing any Purple Heart, Dana. Sparkles. No sparkles. I'll leave that to you. You do the sparkles. You do you, and I'll do me. And that's... Sparkles is not going to have anything to do with what I'm going to do. I could do sparkles, but I'm not going to. Let me move this stuff over. Let me grab a saw. I'm just going to, I've got about 20 minutes. I'm going to get started on this guy. See how quickly we can do this. Okay, let me make some room. Make some room, ladies and gentlemen. This guitar away. Making some room down on the bench so we can cut this dude. Alrighty, move that guy across like that. I'm going to cut that guy right across here, right across there. Get rid of. There. Let's move this guitar into the next room. Grab our jigsaw. Jig, 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 jig. Cut this guy right across there. Where is that saw? Here it is. No battery. Full battery. Now, very important, blackwood can be a little bit toxic. Well, allergenic. So what does that mean? What does that mean, Terry? If it's allergenic, what do I have to do? To breathe, that is, not to touch. But I'm going to put this guy on. Clamp it. I will clamp it. Okay, get some glasses on. What have we done with those guys? There. Clamp that down. We need a clamp. How many clamps do we need? All of them. One's plenty. And we're going to start with this guy down here. I've got another clamp at the top. More clamps. It's pretty stable. Let's cut that right down there. Finish this end. Okay, so there are our two pieces. And they're going to go like that. So I'll just bring up the camera. They're the two sides. Right, there's our sides. They're going to go like that. So side on, it's going to look like that. Okay, there's the base. Front on, it's going to be like that. It's probably going to be about that wide. I've got about 5 electrics and 2 acoustics to put in there. And they're going to be, just bring it together. So there's going to be a piece that goes between here and joins these two up. And that piece that goes along here, I'll show you what I mean. The piece that joins these two in here like so. I'll just put it on top to demonstrate. Okay, that's going to have the cutouts put in it. And that's where you grab your guitar and go slot and rest the foot down on the bottom. So these are the sides. What I can do, what I was saying earlier on, for stability, I can actually place some feet on the bottom or join the bottom with a nice long piece and have a little bit of an overhang like that, so that's a little bit more stable. And that's the kind of depth that we're going to have. So I will sit that there like so, sorry, at the back like so. I will join them to the base plate. And of course, you'll have the rods along the bottom of this guy that the rest will sit on. Okay, so we will have a foot, not that long though, but a foot under each one, and that'll make it nice and stable. Anyway, that's the start of it. Tasmanian blackwood, you can see the grain on that guy. It's quarter sawn, nice and straight, nice and hard. Would make a good good guitar sides or a carved top. But again, it was flawed, and there's abilities. There was cracks through there. Good enough for a guitar stand, but not for an instrument. So we're going to use that guy to make a guitar stand. So we've got our our flamed. It's a little bit flamed. You can probably see the flame if I add some stuff to it. So a little look. Have a little look, see what that looks like. What's that like there? Let's get some colour in there and see what that's going to look like. Oiled. Okay, there's the piece, and that's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like. Oiled. You can see that it's got some flame through there. A very ornate guitar stand. Yes, it will when it's done, Terry. Absolutely, it will. And that, my friends, is that for today. I'm done. I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to go and have a little snooze. No, I'm not going to have a snooze. I've got work to do. But I will be back tomorrow because today's Friday here in Australia. I was meant to stream yesterday. I missed out because of things that I had to attend to. So tomorrow I'm back again. We'll continue with that inlaying. We'll probably get a little bit more of this. We'll probably even finish that stand tomorrow. Minus, of course, the felt, unless I get my backside into gear and go down to the hardware store and pick up some rubber trim to put on the feet and on that neck rest area. But until then, guys and girls, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow. So until then, Manny from the Guitar Show, remember, drop it in, and remember at the end of February, only a month away now, literally a month away, 4 weeks away, we've got our 24-hour build stream for our second streaming anniversary. So be here then for sure I'll let you know the exact dates when we schedule that. But thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. And you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings and days. I'll see you again tomorrow. Manny from the Guitar Show signing off. Till then, bye for now.